Welcome to the second week of Transformational Love, a Lenten reflection series helping us all get ready for Easter. This series is presented by Ignatian Young Adult Ministries, an initiative of the Office of Ignatian Spirituality. Last week we heard how we can proclaim God's goodness in dark times. Now let's shine a light on this week's theme, illuminating our vision, how Christ transforms us. This reflection was written by Nathan Evangelisto, a member of the 2023-2025 cohort of Contemplative Leaders in Action in Charlotte. If I'm being honest, I can be quite hesitant when it comes to change. There's a hobbit-like part of me that takes comfort in knowing what to expect each day and holding to a mostly formed sense of who I am. At the root of this hesitancy, if I'm being really honest, is fear. Transformation is often accompanied by fear. The fear held in our memories that our past failures make us unworthy of love. The fear in the present of being incapable of discerning the events and signs of the time around me, leading to the fear of a lack of understanding and wisdom in an unknown future. In this week's first reading, God shows his glory to Abram in the stars at night. God uses this aspect of his creation to reveal to Abram a promise of hope and abundance in the form of Abram's many descendants. This is a beautifully simple reminder that while encounters with God may make us tremble in awe, they perhaps most fundamentally lift us up, increasing our embodiment of hope and love. Of course, even after this incredible encounter with God, after the sun sets that evening, we find Abram enveloped by a deep, terrifying darkness. Like Abram, the transformation of our hearts usually involves trials that are part of the process of healing growth. One of my favorite stories of St. Ignatius of Loyola is the Cardoner River vision, in which he received a sort of enlightenment from God, illuminating his spiritual senses as though all things were new. When I place myself alongside Peter, John, and James in witnessing the transfiguration of Jesus, this is what I imagine. I'm roused from slumber, fully awakened and enlivened by the brilliant glory of Christ that completely changes my vision. In this new vision, I'm reminded that illumination sheds light on everything, including all of myself and my surroundings. Where there was fear, I now see hope. And where there was drought, I notice the abundance of life. There are so many layers of prophetic meaning in the Transfiguration, but for me it's primarily an invitation to a deeper understanding of the crucifixion and resurrection of Christ. It's a promise of greater and greater glories to come. It's an illustration of this central paradox of our Christian faith, that like Christ, by lowering ourselves, we are indeed lifted. This language of light and glory can sound abstract and fantastically naive, especially for those of us enduring excruciatingly painful and isolating seasons. Still, there's a peace to be found in placing ourselves in the scene of the crucifixion. Sometimes it's enough to stand alongside Mary, John, and the women who were there, mourning in the shadow of the cross as the blood of the Savior washes the earth. There is no greater closeness to God, even in this apparent desolation. Creation is a sacred labor and promise to us by the God who loves us completely, as are our encounters with God in the labor of Christ in his suffering. From the illuminating promise of the stars to the bodily transformation of Christ, we're pointed to Christ on the cross. This image and reality of God on the cross is the most radiant glory and piercing mercy, shining light on a new humanity transformed by love. Even though we may find ourselves in darkness, let's lift our eyes to the light this Lent, savoring our share in the heavenly promise of hope. Thanks for joining us as we strive to illuminate our vision and consider how Christ transforms us this Lenten season. Tune in next week when we'll take time to grow together.